How's it going, Reef Keepers? Hope you guys are doing well. So today I want to focus on compatibility for the A8se Radion clone. And there's two things that I want to look at for compatibility. One is, can we get an Ecotech mounting bracket for an RMS system to match up to these little bolts right here? That's how the Radion's laid out. They've laid this out similarly. I've acquired a bracket from Ecotech, and I'm going to go ahead and see if we can't make that fit on there. And then the second thing I want to look at is, because this is a light that is, in almost perfect keeping with the Ecotech Radion, the LEDs on this light are laid out in such a way as to maximize the spread, or you would at least, ascertain that, just kind of like the G6, the spread of the light is pretty extreme, which actually does, uh, unfortunately, spread the light out too much for many users' tastes. That is why Ecotech released the kit to change the focus of the light, to make the light more focused and therefore be able to boost par hitting your corals while reducing the spread. So I've actually picked up not just a bracket, but I've also picked up one of those high intensity lens kits. So the first test is really easy. The first test is, will this bracket right here lay perfectly on these four bolts on the corners? I'm going to go ahead and gently put it on there. Perfect fit. Seriously, look, I'll move it. No wiggle. I mean, it is dead on every single one of those bolts on the corners. In case you guys don't know how these work, these bolts have a hollow threaded center. And so you basically buy your bracket, then you take the little screws that come with the bracket, and you screw down on each one of these corners, and it locks the bracket into place. Very simple system. I like the RMS mount. I think they did a good job with it. Now you know, if you get the A8se Reef light and the A8 Pro, because it is the same exact body, you will be able to absolutely use a Radion XR30 bracket to make it fit on an RMS mounting system if that's the direction that you want to go. So, all right, next up, let's test out the high intensity lens kit. All right, I am so unhappy with my annoying little microphone that for some reason the sound just decided to get garbled for, like, I don't know, 3/4 of this video. So I had 3/4 of a video that, I just had to replace because you couldn't understand what I was saying at all. This is the high intensity lens. So I've already put it in there and I've already closed it. I've already closed the body back up. As you can see, it is a sound fit. It fits really well. I guess I'm going to reverse engineer this video now because you didn't get to see the process. And I'm going to take this off. You can see I only put 2 screws in just to lock it in place and show you guys. I'm going to pull this cover off because it's required to pull the cover off. You're going to have to pop these little screws on the side here in order to do this. I didn't realize that at the beginning of the video. Yeah, you missed out on that whole process. Maybe some of you were happy that you missed out on that. So I'm going to gently pop this up. So here's the interior of the light right here with the Radion high intensity lens installed. I'll hover over it, let you guys take a good look. Here, let's get down just so you can see the internal components of it. I mean, it is, I don't know anything about, what I'm looking at when I look at that. However, I will say it looks clean and organized. It actually looks pretty similar to the interior shots of an Ecotech Radion that are on this pamphlet here with the instructions of how to take this thing apart. I mean, this is obviously a Radion XR30 blue, but, like, switch that to black, and I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. Let me pop off the high intensity lens. Okay, so I've removed those screws. Now, I'm going to show you something. This is interesting. So, Here's the Radion high intensity lens. Okay, let's set that aside. Now take a look here. If you look here, there are these little washers that are down in here. Okay, these are from Ecotech. They are not native to this unit. They did not come with it. So in the Ecotech high intensity kit, you basically get this little package of screws that are longer screws and these washers, and these are in case you have a Radion G5 unit that you are putting a new lens on, because apparently the G5 units had larger cutouts in the LED board. And this clearly requires those washers so that the lens and the screws are everything's flush down and fits this larger cutout profile. But what that means is this light, at least the design of the board, was based on the Radion G5, which I assumed it was a G6 just because the G6 has been around forever. At this point, I have no idea if we're going to get a G7. But this is based on the G5, at least in like hardware, uh, manufacture, so to speak. It could be that the LEDs mimic the G6 because the G5 and the G6 are not all that different. But I'm not sure. I'd have to do some crazy spread testing. I don't know that I'm exactly like qualified to do that and come up with a conclusion. My friend who is going to test the spectrum may actually be able to do that. I'm not sure if he's equipped for spread testing either, but regardless, what's going to happen now is I send this thing off to get it tested for spectrum. And the friend who's testing the spectrum of it and getting that data may or may not run a PAR test, may or may not run a spread test. If they do, great. However, I will most certainly run my own PAR test and put out a video with the spectrum and the PAR for everybody to consume once I get this thing back. But in the meantime, hang tight because I'm going to keep taking a look at this. But now you know for sure Radion high intensity lens kit absolutely works. Also, Radion RMS mounting hardware absolutely works with the A8se and therefore also the A8 if you're going to pay up for the model that has the Meanwell driver and the Cree LEDs. So, all right, guys, thanks for sticking around. I apologize again for the mishap with the audio that made me have to like go in reverse to show you guys this, but it is what it is. Take it easy.